Hello, Nick here with Mid-Ohio ESC Print Shop. I would like to take this opportunity today to go over the packaging feature of Adobe InDesign and how you can utilize this feature to share your InDesign files with colleagues or to get your file ready for print production by a printer of your choosing. The file I have open here currently is a 32-page document, and it has multiple pictures and files placed within inside this document. Anytime you're creating an InDesign file and you put elements into your document via the File Place command, you're actually creating a link or a path to that file that is unique specifically to your computer. So if I was to share this file with a colleague and all I sent them was my InDesign file, they would be able to open up the file, but they would get several error messages letting them know that links are not found or are broken in the file. And if this was to be printed, all these images would appear extremely blurry and pixelated and would not print well at all. If I look over here in my links panel, you can notice there are several links to Illustrator files, PDF files, JPEG files, just to name a few, that are unique to this document. And I'll go ahead and click on one. And down here in the description, or the link information box, where it gives the file name and the type of format it is, it also shows you the path to that image. So whenever I send off this InDesign document to somebody, if it's not in a packaged file, when someone else opens it, it's going to look for this path that is unique to my computer, and of course they will not have it on their computer, so therefore the link will be broken. So the way we can avoid having this error occur is by using the packaging feature of Adobe InDesign to take all of our assets that are in our file and put them in one main folder that can be utilized by anyone who needs to use this InDesign file. So what I would like to do is go up to the File menu, and inside the File menu you'll see the option to create a package. So we'll go ahead and click on Package. And what you'll initially get is a summary or a pre-flight of this actual file that would be produced. And underneath the summary, it'll tell you how many fonts are actually used in your document, if there are any missing fonts, how many fonts are embedded, how many fonts are protected. You can also get links and images information, such as there's 152 links inside this document. If there are any modified links, and what a modified link means is, say for example, I had an image that was in RGB mode, and I went back into Photoshop and changed that image to CMYK, that would show up as a modified link until I update that link inside my links panel. It'll also tell you how many links are embedded, in this case 0. The reason why you don't often use embedded images inside InDesign is it will just make the file size that much larger, so you want to try to keep your file size as small as possible. And it'll show that I have 0 images in the RGB color space. Underneath the colors and inks, it'll tell you how many process inks you have, and also if you have any spot colors being utilized in your document, and for non-opaque objects and other information about your file. You click on the Fonts menu, and if you have any fonts the fonts would be listed here. Underneath the links and images, this will show all the links that are inside your document. Currently, right now, I have it clicked to show problems only, meaning, for example, if I was using images in the RGB color mode, that would be flagged as an error inside of the packaging feature, because most often images and files are produced in CMYK. You would have to check with your specific printer to see if the RGB color mode for those images would be okay, or if you would have to go into another photo editing program such as Photoshop and change the color mode to a CMYK. If I uncheck that box, it'll show all the links that are inside this document, what page they are on, and how they are, the status of them in this case being linked and not embedded, and then give the file name. So if you did, for example, have some that are used in the RGB color mode or had problems, if you click on the Show Problems, it will give you the name of the file, where it's at, and actually the page it's located on, so you can easily change that image and do not have to search throughout your entire document trying to find it. Underneath the colors and inks, it'll show you all the colors that are being used inside your document. The print settings will show you how the document is set up to be printed. You do not need to pay too much attention to this feature, as the printer will set the file up according to how they need it based on their specifications, and if there are any external plugins you are using inside of your program. The next step we're going to do, if all this checks out and we're ready to go, is click on the Package button, and it's going to come up with a dialog box for printing instructions where you can enter some basic contact information, an address, a phone number, and any specific instructions that you would like to give to the printer. Once you have this information filled out, you go ahead and click Continue, and it's going to bring up a box asking you where you would like to save your packaged file. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and save it on the desktop. I'm going to go ahead and call it Packaged Booklet. And by default, InDesign will automatically check mark these three first boxes. And these are the boxes you want to make sure are check marked and do not get accidentally toggled off when you're setting this up. You want to make sure it copies all your fonts to your packaged file. You want to make sure it also copies any linked graphics and update the graphic links in the package. What that means is it's going to take all the paths that I referenced earlier that are unique to my computer and change all those links so that it's unique to the package folder. That way, whenever someone opens up that packaged item, all those links are found appropriately. Once we have all this information set, we'll go ahead and click on Package, and you'll get a warning popping up talking about fonts. And basically, font is a software, so it'll bring up the licensing agreement and restrictions, just letting you know that to treat those as software. We'll go ahead and click OK. And now it's going to go through the pre-flighting process where it's going to start packaging all the links and all the fonts into one main folder that we would be able to then utilize and send off to a printer or share with a colleague. And while it's running through this process, I'll let it run through it, and then we'll start back up after it has packaged this file. Alright, we are back, and the file did end up packaging the document, so we'll go ahead and take a look at what the packaged document actually looks like. So I'll go ahead and minimize this window, and we'll go to our desktop where we specified the file to be saved. And you'll notice right here is the packaged booklet folder. So let's go ahead and open this up and take a look at it. And what it'll do is it'll put a saved version of your InDesign document in the folder. It'll also put those instructions that we created earlier in the packaging process, as well as all the links. So if we open up this folder, you'll see these are all the graphical elements and linked documents inside of our file. And any fonts that we were using are also packaged inside the fonts folder. And in order to get this ready to print or send this off to a colleague, what you'd have to do, depending on how you are sharing it with them, is to either put it into a zip folder, either using a program such as StuffIt on the Mac or WinZip on a PC, and email that file to them if it's a small enough file size, or use an FTP service if the printer such as Mid-Ohio ESC Print Shop offers an FTP service for file upload. Or you can also burn it or copy it over to a USB or CD-ROM drive. So I hope you found this information useful for packaging an InDesign document. You would follow this same process, whether it's a one-page flyer or a multi-page publication, to ensure your file is packaged correctly for printing production or sharing along with a colleague. We'll see you next time.